Is your sense of worth low? INFJs, do you appreciate being one? Do you have any talent or personality traits that you admire or want? Would you want to have a different personality type if you had the option? I occasionally get emails from INFJ readers who are self-hating and have low self-esteem. Frequently those who are younger. They admitted to me that they detest or dislike being an INFJ. They gripe about how simpler life is for extroverts than for them since extroverts attract more attention. Making friends doesn't take much work for them. Because extroversion is valued in society, they are more successful in their careers. They are more likely to find love in a relationship because they take the initiative. People frequently misunderstand INFJs because we are unique and unusual. Although we cherish relationships and desire to connect with others, we are quickly worn down by them. Though smart, the way we think is vague and challenging to explain. Most of us simply want to blend in with the crowd and be normal. I comprehend the viewpoint of these readers. I had poor self-esteem when I was a teen in my early 22nd, and I had the same emotions. However, once I am familiar with the MBTI cognitive processes and the INFJ personality, I can truly embrace who I am. In order to help other INFJs accept their personality and identify their INFJ qualities and traits, I wanted to publish this essay. INFJ self-esteem issues and self-love strategies. 1. Try your best with what you have. First of all, accepting oneself is not the same as giving up. Accepting your INFJ personality doesn't mean you have to stop working on yourself or trying to succeed in the things that matter to you most in life, like your relationships and your career. A person should not give up on life or be unable to be happy just because they were born sick or with a disability. Let alone individuals like us who have such special abilities and are in good physical health. The 8 cognitive functions are the same for all 16 MBTI types, despite the fact that their preferred orders vary. INFJs may possess an unusual cognitive stack. But what we choose to do with this knowledge is entirely up to us. You have 2 options. You either accept your personality and make the most of it, or you can give up and live a passive lifestyle. It resembles a game of cards. Do you moan about your poor hand after being dealt a hand of cards and give up on the game? Or do you make the best of the situation and strive to win the game? Only when all players give it their all to win the game is it enjoyable. It's not because you're an introvert or an INFJ that others don't like you or that you constantly attracting negative individuals. You are not presenting the finest version of yourself because you have not given yourself the time to properly comprehend who you are. Your personality has nothing to do with it. It is entirely dependent on the energy you are radiating, though. Playing with folks who aren't interested in playing isn't entertaining. So what even if you succeed? It is boring to watch tennis matches where the players have no ambition to win. What unique skills or disadvantages individuals possess are irrelevant because the fun of watching and playing the game is in the process. Not just the outcome of winning or losing, but also the heart and soul they put into the game is what makes it entertaining to watch. Healthy individuals will naturally be drawn to you and willing to play with you at that level if you acknowledge and work to foster your INFJ personality qualities. 2. But avoid pretending to be someone you're not. It's amazing how many people try to squeeze square pegs into round holes and disregard the obvious fact that things are as they are every day of their lives. William Hoff. INFJs frequently experience childhood envy of extroverts. We aspire to imitate them. We desire to socialize more, fit in, and make more friends. Because extroverted feeling is our second cognitive function, this is not too challenging for INFJs. We can simply adapt our style of engagement to the other person because we are aware of what they desire. Self-improvement and being more present in the world are both valid goals. We can communicate our insights more effectively if we work on our communication skills. Increasing our social interaction can help us make more friends. We can become healthier INFJs by honing our extroverted abilities, including extroverted feeling and extroverted sensing. But there's a thin line between developing personally and becoming someone we're not. We don't necessarily need to become extroverts just because society favors it. INFJs will quickly experience burnout if we act too much like extroverts and spend too much time socializing. We must respect our own tastes, aspirations, and limitations. Go ahead and take a break if you need to refresh. You are not required to defend your behavior or tell people why you are not antisocial. Also, please don't feel that you have to give in to social pressure or peer pressure. We INFJs are highly adept at following other people's wishes. We, however, forfeit our authenticity and sense of self when we try to be what other people want us to be. Self-rejection, not self-improvement, is the antithesis of self-acceptance. It results from having low self-esteem. You are denying yourself and criticizing your innate likes and aspirations by pretending to be someone else. Keep in mind that other folks are already taken. It's not your responsibility to act like them. You have to be who you are. 3. Value your INFJ strengths and abilities. Embracing your INFJ personality entails 2 steps. To start, you must be aware of your INFJ talents. Second, you need to be respectful of and thankful for the special talents you have. People frequently become stuck at the beginning. They are incapable of appreciating their own abilities and power. Some INFJs view their talent as a burden rather than a gift. INFJs, for instance, are outstanding observers, especially of people. But we are reluctant to share our ideas with others because, as we have learned, they are often misconstrued. The general public, particularly the censors, does not appear to comprehend the intricacy and breadth of our discoveries. We detest being the old soul because it makes it hard for us to interact and relate to our contemporaries on the level we would prefer. We therefore blame our frustration, loneliness, and alienation on our gifts. But perception is all there is to it. Your utilization of your INFJ talent depends on how you see it. You will discover methods to use your INFJ talent more effectively if you view it as a gift. You can learn about what other people comprehend and don't grasp by sharing your views with others, and not being afraid of any feedback you might get. After that, you can use their comments to improve your understanding and find clearer or more understandable ways to communicate your ideas. However, if you consider your INFJ talent to be a curse, you also waste your talent. However, you also hold others accountable for not trying to comprehend you or condemn them for not taking you seriously. Then, you won't feel good about being an INFJ because your insights will be of little to no real-world application. It's a never-ending circle. To understand our talents, we must first see them as advantages rather than limitations. This does not imply that we are superior to our personality types or that we always have the correct perspective. Every personality type has a special, individual gift, and the world needs each and every one of them. You become a better INFJ and have more self-esteem as you have a deeper understanding of who you are and what your strengths are. Furthermore, introverted intuition, a valuable and uncommon trait, is only used by INFJs and INTJs, about 3–4% of the population. Who else is going to utilize it if you don't? The world needs your thoughts and creativity, so embrace your gift and make a difference. 4. Avoid criticizing your INFJ's shortcomings and limitations. Self-acceptance entails accepting both our positive and negative personality traits. We accept both our INFJ weaknesses as well as our INFJ strengths. You must first realize that every personality type, including INFJs, has strengths and shortcomings. We use less of one cognitive function when we use another cognitive function more frequently. We INFJs have less opportunity to employ our sense faculties when we are continually using our intuition. It seems as though we are unable to write fluidly using both hands at once. You could not appreciate being an INFJ for a variety of reasons, including our excessive concern with what other people think of us and how they perceive us, especially when we are upset, our sensitivity to criticism and rejection, our predisposition toward passive aggressiveness and conflict avoidance, our over-reliance on detecting activities when we are under stress, etc. All of these behaviors can be enhanced or altered, but you must accept your current situation. You are less likely to modify your habits the more you judge yourself. Since you will always be critical of yourself for making mistakes, you will constantly feel horrible about yourself. Self-improvement is not the same as self-fixing. We don't require fixing. We seek expansion. Accept that you have these behaviors and understand that it will take time to change them rather than viewing them as defects. Do your best while showing yourself some compassion. Recognizing our shortcomings enables us to learn how to become stronger versions of ourselves. It's not our place to feel sorry for ourselves or criticize ourselves. 5. Use your own standards to judge the quality of your existence. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Albert Einstein. Some INFJs struggle to accept and appreciate themselves for a variety of reasons, including a tendency to constantly compare themselves to others. I recognize that it can be challenging to ignore the distinctions between INFJs and the other personality types. However, when we consistently contrast ourselves with others, we start to feel jealous and envious of them and their accomplishments. There are problems and poor habits to overcome for other personality types as well. When sensors don't use their intuition, they become overly inflexible and keep making the same errors in life. The thinking types struggle to connect and have deep relationships with people because they are too logical. Extroverts struggle with alone and tend to act or speak in haste, which they later come to regret. Because every one of us has a unique background, Enneagram type, interests, starting place, etc. Don't even try to compare yourself to other INFJs. Despite the fact that our brains prefer to process and perceive information similarly, many parts of our lives are different. Comparing yourself to others is useless as well because everyone has various goals in life. When I've given up trying to fit in, it's been one of the best times in my life. Prior to being independent, I was looking for a full-time position. I once received a realistic advice from an interviewer. She advised me to return to my career as an accountant and to keep writing as a pastime. That absolutely enraged me, but it also inspired me to start writing professionally. I vowed to myself that I would never work a 9-to-5 job again after that day. I gave up hunting for work and started tutoring instead. Many erroneous assumptions and social expectations are imposed onto us. People believe that in order to acquire a good career, make a lot of money, buy a house and a car, have a wonderful relationship, get married, and other things, we must go to college. However, have you ever thought about the following? What even does any of this mean to me? Is even this what I want out of life? Will achieving these goals make me happy? What does happiness and success look like to me? Do I pursue my own goals or those of others? Following the established guidelines may make the intuitive sorts feel content. But as INFJs, I urge you to use your intuition to identify your true priorities, not what the majority of society, your parents, or your partner want. What do you want, though? You can use your aspirations as a yardstick to judge the quality of your life if you are aware of and willing to embrace them. For instance, even if I might be making less money, I still appreciate the independence of my schedule and the work I perform. Freedom and passion are my top priorities. I may not appear successful in other people's views, but from my perspective, I'm content.